So when this happened the last time, I sent a bill the next day after the install was done. And then I follow up with an email. And then I follow up with a second email. And then I follow up with a third email. And then I send a text. And then he didn't respond to any of that. And then I called.
Welcome to No Strings Attached, the place where we untangle honest conversations about business, reinvention, and the pursuit of the American dream. Hosted by Roger Magalhaes, Brazilian-born, Boston-bred, Florida-based. He is an entrepreneur, speaker, and storyteller with 20 years of real stories, laughs, and screw-ups. This show is for anyone still searching for their place under the sun. So pull up a chair. The show is about to start. Here's Roger with No Strings Attached.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another show of No Strings Attached. My name is Roger Magalhaes, and I am your host. If this is your first time here, welcome to the show. But if you have been here before, welcome back. Today, I am going to share an experience, a bad one actually, about payment for a job that I did. But before I get that, I wanted to share with you my book that just came out called Nobody Told Me That is available on Amazon for pre-order. They are available on Kindle, PDF, in back hardcover, and also paperback. So if you are curious about 20 years of stories for business and personal situations, how you get up when a life gets knocks you down, I have plenty of that to share with you. Please check the link on the comments, and I appreciate your support. Now, back to the situation that I had last month. I already did work for this guy before. He's a dealer in a different state and he bids on projects all over the country. So we did a few jobs for this guy before. It always worked the same way. He always on top of it when he's asking for the bid, the appointments, when we're gonna go there, when you're gonna receive the product, really on top of it. And then when we send the invoice, it disappears. He doesn't respond emails. He doesn't answer text messages. And that happened 3 times. And I said, I feel a pattern here. But he ended up paying after we follow up 3 or 4 times, right? And I said, I just don't want to work with this guy anymore. So when this happened the last time, I sent a bill the next day after the install was done. And then I follow up with an email. And then I follow up with a second email. And then I follow up with a third email. And then I send a text. And then he didn't respond to any of that. And then I called and he answered it. And as soon as he realized it was me, he said, I cannot talk now. I'll call you back. I was pissed, really, because we scheduled it, we measured it, we sent it, we received the product, we install it, everything done the way it's supposed to be done. We followed the days. We did, as best as we could. We cleared the schedule. And this guy just pushing me to the side. When he answered and said, I cannot talk now, I said, fine. So I text him back and I said, you don't need to call me back. Just pay the invoice by Friday or I'll bring you to court. And that triggered him really, really fast. He started answering the text right away. He said, this is piss money. I don't know why you're doing that. And then he went on and on, started bashing. You should know what you're doing, yada, yada, yada. You should set the expectations right. And then I just answered it. I said, dude, this is not the first time we're doing business. We did 4 installs for you. In every install, you paid after the installation was completed. We never set 30-day expectation for your jobs. You should know that. You should have that on your profile. But I also take responsibility because I only assumed he knew while we already knew it. So I should be more upfront and kind of refresh his mind every time he sent a new inquiry and say, hey, by the way, that's how we work. We send you a bill right after the job is completed. So make sure you paid us. Or maybe he will come back and say, we only work 30 days, net 30, and then you have to wait 30 days. It would be fine. The whole problem was the miscommunication, was the lack of communication, that he just assumed that it was 30 day net 30 that I have to wait. It was a poor communication situation. And that obviously escalated big time really fast. So my problem was I didn't refresh or remind him that we had terms. I would agree with his terms if that was the case. The problem on his end is because he didn't reply to me. To me, he was just ditching me or dodging the bullet. And, I don't have a leverage. I already did the install. I already did everything. So I got no leverage to work with this guy other than say, hey, I'll bring you to court. So hey there, Roger here. Just a quick note. This episode is brought to you by blindsonline.com. If you've been thinking about new window treatments, I want you to check them out. I am a partner there, and I can tell you firsthand, the quality, the selection, and the service are the real deal. Listen, over 5,000 five-star reviews don't lie. Whether you are a homeowner or a trade professional, blindsonline.com has you covered. Easy process and affordable prices. And because you are supporting the show here, I want to support you as well. Use coupon code podcast at the checkout and you get 10% off of your order. There's a link in the show notes. And by the way, if you're getting value from the show, do me a big favor and share these with someone who needs to hear. Word of mouth is everything to me, and you know it. And I really appreciate your support. Now, back to the show. Perhaps that could be a good situation for you to reassess how you do business with your people. Perhaps you explain to your clients upfront, you charge 75%, you charge 100%, you charge 50%. So make sure, don't expect people, don't assume people will know how you work because honestly, everyone does in a different way. Perhaps when you deal with your vendors is the same thing. Your vendor give you 30 days, whatever. Perhaps, you need to pay upon receipt. And I have vendors that charge net 30 and I have vendors that I need to pay upon they invoice me. So there's no right or wrong. Obviously, when you have more time to pay, it helps you with cash flow because sometimes you need to pay right away, but your clients don't pay you right away. I have a workroom that I work with. She actually charge 100% before she collects everything before the jobs get installed. I don't do that. I charge 75% upfront. I leave 25% on the table as a way to show my goodwill with my clients. Obviously, Lowe's doesn't do that. Amazon doesn't do that. No online retailer do that. So clients, consumers always pay upfront 100%, and people are fine. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. Something goes wrong, if I'm going to come back, if I'm going to fix it. So I leave 25% on the table. And honestly, it is also an incentive to get the job complete because let's be honest, the job is complete. The money is already paying full, and I have another emergency coming up. There is a chance that I'm gonna put this emergency first instead of taking care of the other client. Now, if I have money with this client, it's like an incentive for me to complete this job ASAP. Perhaps it's just something that you would like to do as well instead of just push them around because you already got paid. You might feel a little comfortable that way. So, again, clear communication is the best way. If you own it, make sure you show up, make sure you show your face, make sure you call your client, you call your installer, you kind of communicate that you are aware of the situation. What really aggravated this whole entire ordeal was the fact that this guy never responded. And that really upsets me. Do you have a situation, similar situation? Do you have a tip to share how you coordinate your jobs, your projects, your payments? Let me know in the comments. I read everything. I appreciate you for being here, all your support, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
And that's a wrap for today. Hope you're leaving with something that sticks. If this episode resonated, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. For more information, follow Roger at rogermagalhaes.com and find the link in the show notes for a free chapter of his book, Nobody Told Me That. We'll see you next Sunday with no strings attached.